Good morning, Saturn class. Today's learning objective is, as a writer, I can change the problem and resolution of the story. So we're going to practice writing a story. This will be the third and the fourth paragraphs, okay, of the story you started yesterday. Right, quick recap. Power of three. You might have heard me call this sentences of three. So a sentence of three, or power of three, is a sentence like this. So she ran down the lane, turned the corner and screamed. What we've got here is three things going on. So she ran down the lane, she turned the corner and screamed. Okay, so first thing, then the comma, the second thing, and then an and then the third thing there. The reason we have a sentence of three, it's really good for picking up the pace, for speeding up a story. So if you've got some suspense, something scary going on, and then you want some action and something exciting to happen, then power of three, sentence of three, is really effective. So we have three things going on in one sentence, and it's really effective. Okay, so today we're going to be writing our problem and our resolution of our new story. So we introduce a problem and then we resolve it. We'll be using the features from our toolkit and using the same storyline but changing the characters. Similar to the Zelda story, but some new details. Okay, and we'll keep the same setting from yesterday. So a quick recap of the toolkit for a suspense story. So short, snappy sentences. The main character is in a dangerous place, using empty words, for example, it, something, someone. Using powerful verbs, sentences of three or power of three, like we just mentioned, and then ellipses, that's the ... for suspense or excitement at the end. Right, so we are looking at the problem of the story now, aren't we? So in the story before, it was Zelda tries to get away from the monster. The monster reveals itself as a cat, but Zelda is still scared. So in our story, we need our main character attempts to escape from some kind of monster or person. The monster or person or scary thing reveals itself, and the main character is still scared or even more scared. And then in the resolution, we want the monster or the creature or the person to come closer to the main character, but the main character doesn't know if they have been seen. Okay, so we're going to try and do this one here, the problem, and this one here, the resolution today. Okay, I've just mentioned those. So, here's the original story. Without thinking, Zelda leaped across the road, dashed under a lorry, and crouched as still as stone. Silently, the shadow of an enormous cat paced through the darkness, slinking along the rain-washed pavements. Zelda shivered. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got a power of three sentence here. Zelda leaps across the road, dashed under a lorry, and crouched as still as stone. So that's the power of three. We've got lovely adjective here, enormous, a powerful adjective. We've got powerful verbs. We've got slinking and paced. So rather than saying walking or running, we've put paced and slinking. Much more interesting, aren't they? And then Zelda shivered. That's another example of a short, snappy sentence. Sometimes a short sentence can be really powerful, just when it's used now and then, not too much. Okay, so we're going to try and write something similar to this. I'm going to model it. I'm going to have a go at writing it, so you can enjoy watching this one, and then you'll be having a go later yourself. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with my story of Poppy and the creature. So she's on a dark street, isn't she? We did this one yesterday, so you'll have to go back to yesterday's video if you haven't done that yet. Here we go. In terror, Poppy darted across the road, leaped over a muddy puddle and hid behind a bin. So we've used a sentence of three there, the power of three. So 1, darted across the road, 2, leaped over a muddy puddle, and 3, hid behind a bin. Remember, it's and after the second one. Slowly, the shadow drew closer as it trudged down the dark and gloomy road. Okay, so what have we got here? Slowly, the shadow, that's an empty word, isn't it? We're not quite sure what it is yet. Drew closer as it trudged. Now, trudged is someone walking quite slowly, so it's a more interesting, powerful verb than walked, isn't it? If you're trudging, you're sort of walking a bit miserably down the dark and gloomy road. We've got nice adjectives there, haven't we? Poppy could not make out the shadow until it was under the street light. She could see fur all over its body, along with two menacing red eyes. Okay, so we're describing the creature a bit more, aren't we? Revealing it to be some kind of furry creature with menacing red eyes. We've described it, powerful adjectives there. Okay, so let's just reread that. In terror, Poppy darted across the road, leaped over a muddy puddle, and hid behind a bin. Slowly, the shadow drew closer as it trudged down the dark and gloomy road. Poppy could not make out the shadow until it was under the streetlight. She could see fur all over its body, along with two menacing red eyes. Okay, so I think we've got all the features we wanted there. So let's move on to our resolution. So here, the monster comes closer to the main character. The main character doesn't know if they've been seen. Okay, so let's have a look at the Zelda story. So slowly, the great rain cat drew closer and closer. Zelda could hear its claws scratching on the tarmac and could see its green eyes glittering. Had it seen her? So what have we got here? We've got more powerful verbs here, the scratching, adjectives, the glittering of the green eyes, and we've got another one of these rhetorical questions. Had it seen her? So a rhetorical question is a question that doesn't need to be answered. Okay, let's have a go at writing this one. I'm going to write it. Let's see how I do. With heavy footsteps, comma, the ferocious beast. I've used a powerful adjective there, haven't I? Really nice, powerful describing word. The ferocious beast drew closer. Oops. Poppy could hear its heavy breath. So more describing words there. Heavy to describe its breath. And claws scratching along the pavement. Now, can we put in a word to describe the pavement there? The dark pavement. And then let's end with a rhetorical question, shall we? Had it seen her? Okay, so with heavy footsteps, the ferocious beast, oops, that's T missing there, that's why we have to check our writing. Everybody makes mistakes. The ferocious beast drew closer. Poppy could hear its heavy breath and claws scratching along the dark pavement. Had it seen her? Right, I think I'm happy with that. So now it's your turn. I want you to write the problem and the resolution of the bit of writing you came up with yesterday. So think you're on some dark street, the character's there, and there's some kind of mystery creature. And in this paragraph, I want the creature to reveal itself. And then in the resolution, the bad character comes closer. Had it seen her? Okay. So the features I wanted to use: power of three, powerful verbs, a rhetorical question, adjectives, and then some more powerful verbs. You can add another question there if you like, and powerful adjectives as well. Okay, good luck. I look forward to reading your bits of writing later. See you later. Bye-bye.